And I'm so happy with that result, but I can't help but feel like we may regret the fact it's only 2-0. Yes, we could have conceded tonight. We probably should have conceded tonight, but we could have scored 4 or 5. So many chances at 2-0. And I'm thinking to myself, going 3-0 up is a huge advantage. 2-0 up is an advantage. And I don't know, guys. I'm feeling very anxious, even though we've won this game 2-0 and we've controlled the game in many ways. We looked a little bit nervy towards the end. No one can deny it. It's one of those games where if you watch the first 70 minutes or so, you'll just think to yourself, there's no competition here. This team in red is clearly so much stronger than the team in black and, was it yellow they had on their kit? Disgusting kit, by the way, that Napoli one. I'm not a big fan of that. I love their blue one, though. Why am I talking about kits? Who cares? We've won 2-0 at home. Now, if you remember when we got this draw, when we saw that Napoli would be the opponents for us, I was very much hoping we would have the home leg in the second leg. We didn't quite get that because Chelsea, but do you know what? It shouldn't matter. You've just got to beat them both nights, and we've done one half of the job. I'm just thinking ahead here that, as we saw at the weekend with Everton, and as we've seen throughout the whole season, our away form is pretty abysmal. I believe we'd be in the bottom half of the league if it was just based on away results. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. It's a mental thing, right? Can anyone explain to me why it's such a difference? This Arsenal side, almost unbeatable at home. We've lost to Man City. That's it this season, in the Premier League at least. I can't remember losing. Yeah, I think we might have lost one in a different competition, but the point remains that we're very, very good at home. It's a fortress, that Emirates Stadium. It really is. And as soon as we go away from home, it's like, I don't even know how to explain it. We're a completely different team. Yes, we didn't have Torreira against Everton. We didn't have our first team, our best team, like we did tonight. This, I think, is probably our best lineup. Give or take Xhaka coming in somewhere. I just feel like we've got this result, but because the next leg is away, over in Italy, I just don't know if 2-0's enough. So I'm just being upfront and honest with you guys. I'm not going to make a prediction, but I'm certainly not getting my hopes up because a 2-0 result is great. Thankfully, we didn't concede, because if it finished 2-1, then I really wouldn't be feeling too confident, because that away goal would be vital. I think we will go there and score, so that's definitely a positive. And if that's the case, then of course they're going to have to score 4. So if we score, I think we go through. I don't know though. I don't know. It's going to be a very, very interesting game, and I cannot wait. But let's go through the lineup, which you can see here. As I've already said, arguably our best lineup. Of course, Bellerin's out injured, but obviously Bellerin gets into this team ahead of Maitland-Niles. Petr Cech in goal. When I tweeted out the lineup, a lot of people going, "Oh, Petr Cech," including me. I find it frustrating that there's this. It's certainly happening more recently, over the last maybe 4 or 5 years, that teams have 2 goalkeepers that rotate in competitions. It didn't seem to be a thing 10 years ago. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember Jens Lehmann being benched just because it was the Champions League, you know? You go with your best players. If they're fit, they play. But it seems to be a more modern thing. I think a lot of clubs just feel bad about having 2 world-class goalkeepers. Only one can play. So I get it, but come on. It's frustrating. However, Petr Cech was good tonight. I don't really have any complaints. The only positive I see of Cech being in over Leno is the commanding voice that Petr Cech has. He is a captain. He really is very vocal. You can hear him barking orders at the defence. He's very experienced. Otherwise, Leno is better in every way. But you guys know already that's how I feel. He did fine tonight. If we go through the list, even though it was 3 at the back, we'll go with Maitland-Niles first. I thought he had a much better game tonight than he did at Everton. I thought he really struggled at the weekend. Definitely did better tonight. A couple of mistakes here and there, but to be expected as such a young player. Well, he's not even that young compared to some of the other youngsters that play for Premier League sides and things, but he's inexperienced regardless. He hasn't had as much starting time as maybe he could have by now, mainly because we've got Bellerin, of course, and Maitland-Niles just he didn't have a position that was his. I think he's found it. I think we found his best position. It's a right mid or maybe centre mid if there's someone else that's playing right mid. Okay, so I'd argue we've kind of found where he fits in best, and he's doing very well. Then we got Socrates, Koscielny and Monreal playing as centre-backs. All three of them I thought had very good games. Nothing spectacular though. Just they did their job very well, clean sheets. Kolasinac, I did want to mention him because he's obviously a very good player. I think he's very handy for us, being the fact that he's so strong. He gives us options going forward out on that left side. But boy, this guy needs to be a little bit more smooth. I don't know how to explain it. He's just like, quite literally the saying, a bull in a china shop. This guy just runs in and smashes everything up. This guy needs to just be a bit more silky smooth. I don't know how else to explain it. He's got a very keen eye for an assist. His crosses are often very good. But there were moments today where just if he could have just calmed himself down a little bit and maybe thought about it, I don't know if we would have scored more because of it, but I think he had one of those games where he got a bit ahead of himself, a bit excited, maybe. I don't know. They didn't really defend against Kolasinac very well. To be fair, I don't think Napoli defended that great in general. I think there was many times where I was just thinking, is this actually Napoli? You know, they've got a very good defensive record. Torreira and Ramsey in midfield. Now, Torreira back with a bang, gets his goal as well. Awesome celebration. That was nice to see. And also, just a reminder to those of you who may not know this, but he almost joined Napoli. Napoli wanted him. And I'm so glad he obviously didn't go. And it's a big thing for him to reject that. He was potentially going to stay at home, you know, where he'd been for a while in Italy. And he could have moved to one of the best clubs in Italy. And potentially, you'd say a bigger, well, I don't know if it's a bigger team. Napoli's a big club, don't get me wrong, but you can see the dilemma there, Napoli or Arsenal. It's a tough decision, and he went, I hope, with his guts and his heart, and chose Arsenal, and maybe tonight is a real wake-up for him that he made the right decision. It's a great moment for him. I'm sure he often thinks about, what would have happened if I went to Napoli? With them losing Jorginho, he was obviously going to go right in there, but he did so well tonight. He's just an incredible player. Everyone loves him. And next to Ramsey, I'm going to miss this guy so much. He really is turning up at the moment. He is our most informed player, if you ask me. He's turned into a player that's proving... He's such an inconsistent player, and I don't know how to explain this, but it's like the move to Juventus has unleashed his true powers. You know, he's proving to us what we're missing, what we're going to be missing. So, shame that he's not staying. And I think had he decided to stay, we wouldn't be seeing this form right now. I think the move is really motivating him. And Juventus will be licking their lips right now because Ramsey, if he gets into that team, which I think he will most of the time, behind Ronaldo, for example, and Dybala and all of these great players they've already got, it's going to be incredible. Meza, I thought, was very good today. Excuse me, I'm still struggling with this throat crap. I thought Ozil controlled the midfield going forward, always calms himself down and keeps the ball near his feet. And it reminds you of Scholes for Manchester United, the way he just slows the midfield down, slows everything down, and just helps the team relax a bit. And the thing that Mesut Ozil does as well is he sees things that we don't. The passes that he makes, I don't think anyone expects it on the pitch. Sometimes not even the runner expects it. And that's what Ozil's so good at. We didn't see it maybe too much tonight, but for once he didn't go completely missing in a big game. So I'm happy about that. Lacazette worked his socks off. I thought he had a very good game. Deserved to maybe get more out of the game. Aubameyang, I thought, had a bit of a quieter game than Lacazette, but still had so many chances. Aubameyang is a weird one for me. One day he's one of the best finishers in the world, and then another day he's useless and just he can't hit anything. Really weird one. In terms of the subs being used, El Neni coming on, it's a little bit uninspiring, isn't it? Iwobi Mkhitaryan coming on. Mkhitaryan did okay, actually. I thought he improved our attacking flow by that part of the game. In general, it's a great result. You know, I'm really happy to be sitting here reviewing this game saying that we've won this 2-0 because if Napoli won today, if they'd got the 2-0 win, it's game over because I don't think we'll be able to beat them by more than 1 or 2 goals when we play them in Italy, just purely because our away form is terrible. But I think we can go there and maybe get a 1-1. And of course that takes us through. Score 1 and they have to score 4. That's just all we need to be thinking about. We have to score a goal there. I would very much like to see this exact lineup because it's attacking, yet it can do a job defensively, and providing we've got no injuries, just go for it. I think we completely go for it, even if it's in between fixtures in the Premier League that are vital for us. I can't remember either side who. I think it's West Ham, then it's Napoli, and then Newcastle. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. It's not Newcastle, is it? We just played them recently, but I think we need to choose one almost. I know Emery's going to be thinking both competitions front of his mind, Premier League, Europa League, but I just don't know if we can do both unless we just stretch our players way past their bending point, and overwork them. But anyway, that's down to the manager. I say we just go for it in Napoli, in Naples, and just end it. Just 1-0 in the first 20 minutes, and maybe even 2-0, and just kill it off. Play our best players. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this review. It was a fantastic game. Really enjoyed watching it. A little bit nervous towards the end, but we made it through with a clean sheet. It's another home victory, and I cannot wait for the return leg in a couple of weeks.